I'm that girl who's wanting to know, have you tripped into fear yet? I'm not laughing at you tripping into fear, but is it often that when you hear new information in the 3D, do you freak out? Do you flip out? Do you lose every metaphysical perspective and understanding and wisdom and knowledge and slip into and trip into being vulnerable? And I know lots of times in sessions they have said, drink lots of water. Okay, so what we're supposed to do, I'll just recap for you who have not heard this before. When you see lots of water, when it rains, if you see the ocean, a stream, if you see any body of water, even a swimming pool, even a paddling pool, even just a jar of water, lots of people I know put big jars of water out on their kitchen counter and just sort of leave it in the sun for a little bit. And then they sort of drink that during the day. Because when we ask the subconscious in sessions, how much water does my client need per day? They sort of say around 2 liters or something, depending on who they are, right? But they say, don't just drink it all in one go, sort of, just disperse it out through the day. So they ideally would love for you all to be having like a glass or a jar or a bottle of water around you regularly. So you always have this habit of unconsciously just constantly drinking water. When you are pouring that water into the vessel, if you could send it a love bubble, set the intentions that it is loved, honored, respected with much gratitude. It's going to do great things to your body. It's going to high vibrate your body because it is programmed to be high vibrational. It has so much profound goodness. I don't know all the right words right now. It's still very early in the morning for me. So trust that the water is very high vibrational. If in doubt, ask in your own sessions, right? Interns are free. So every session I ask about the water and I'm question and quiz the water for my clients to be able to understand the significance and the power of water. It is one of our best friends, right? And so for some people, just recently, they have tripped into big fear. Oh my gosh, Joe, here you are, you're telling us all to drink all this water, and now I have heard that it's got snake poison in it. How dare you? They don't kind of go that far, but they're sort of thinking it. That's that girl who told us to drink snake juice. Okay, so reality is this. Who are you trusting? Are you trusting those little tests? Did we not all see those little tests say that a pear was positive, that monkey was positive, random things were positive? Are you trusting the tests? And if so, are you trusting the tests when you saw it one time in one edited video where it was testing water and was tested positive? Interesting choices, right? So have you stopped drinking water because you're afraid of that? Because if you have got pure water and you're afraid, and you are feeling like you're victims and you're going to get sick or whatever, and you are manifesting that, guess what? Your wishes come true. So you don't want to have a low vibration. Actually, you want to focus on high frequency vibrations, and how you get that is with raising your vibrations with your mental state. Know you're protected. Know you're trusted. Know you're here for a very significant purpose. Know that you're here to be naturally upgraded because you're asking to be upgraded in small steps. If you don't ask to be upgraded, you'll get a big download, which will look like you being out sick for a week until you surrender and release, and then be forced manually to have that upgrade. A lot of things are going on, and a lot of people who are getting sick for certain things definitely do look like they've got the current trends. I also want to remind you of a session we did back last year in June, early June, where they were talking about, we were asking about, the client and myself were asking about India and what was happening to a lot of people who were suddenly dying from the virus. And we asked about it because it was quite extraordinary. And what they said was it was poison in the water. Shock it, right? So we know that there are things that can get us, but it's life contracts, right? So weigh up, is it your life contract? Why don't you ask in a session how you're going to shift? if you're brave enough. It's sometimes quite challenging. I've done it many times myself. And when the time extends, it's a mind F when you're bracing yourself to have exit points, because it's a countdown. It's a very interesting countdown. You definitely seize the day in every moment that you have here when you've got a countdown. So it's a lot to be said, and it can be quite distracting. I know a few of my clients that love to know the dates of things and love to know when they're going to shift and how. And so they get lots and lots and lots and lots of details from the aspect of that timeline. And if everything unfolds, this is going to be the most probable likely way for the clients to have those exit points. So it's very interesting. Easy to listen to without jumping into emotions. It's a little bit harder to process when it's your own life, your own children, and your own emotional feelings with it. But we all need to be mature with our responsibilities of reactions. As easy as that is to be said, it takes some time to be able to cope and have trust and faith that all is well, that this isn't something that is going to be the worst thing that's ever happened to us. In fact, it's going to be so liberating. It's actually going to be a gift. And so therefore, we want to be able to make every moment and opportunity that we have before that shift, to be able to really empower ourselves and others the best way we can. And it was really interesting because I did listen back to that session that was in, I think it was the 9th of June. It was a hibiscus flower. So if you want to go back and have a look at the hibiscus flower video, I highly recommend it, because it was reminding us of why humanity has delayed the shift for itself. We get so distracted. You don't have faith. You don't have trust. And you just keep piling on more things that you should be doing to distract yourself instead of empowering yourself. And so it was an interesting thing to go down memory lane, to be able to rethink about some of these sessions in the past, because even I don't have time to go back and listen to old sessions unless being randomly prompted. So I highly recommend everyone who has still got some missing sessions to listen to. It's interesting also when I ask the subconscious, how many times would you like my client to listen to the session today? And they often, if not always, say 3. And it is interesting. It always is that consistency, which is so fantastic to have consistent information coming through. And so what's the significance of 3? First time you listen to it, it's still sort of new, and you're starting to remember all the senses that you get from and had from the session. The second time you listen to it, you're not full of the senses anymore. You've sort of grown a little bit, but now you can actually hear the content more and have more epiphanies and find those missing pieces of the puzzles. And then the third time you listen to it, it's really, you're so balanced with it. You have full acceptance and understanding of all. There's no resistance. It doesn't actually seem like you're rejecting it so much or dismissing it so much, because usually at that point, by the time you're listening to the session for the third time, you've grown so much, and we know how fast people can grow. And so you can see things from a much bigger perspective, from their perspective. And so it's really, really, really important to listen to sessions regularly. Especially your own, right? But I know people who have listened to the sessions for entertainment and then have turned into practitioners. Go back and listen to those sessions again with your practitioner ears. You will hear so much more information than you were noticing as you were just being entertained, looking for dates of the shift and when you can get the heck out of here, right? Hey, Ray, liberation from that mortgage. Woohoo! So there's so much to be said. So please, if you are going to start freaking out and feeling vulnerable to your water, you're more powerful than you know. And your fear of, oh, that water's going to kill me, oh, that water's going to make me sick. What are you telling your body? That water is going to make my body sick. That water is going to kill me. Your body listens really well, listens better than you. Listens better to you, and your body It senses everything that you've got an agenda for, you've got a persuasion for, or a thought about. And so your body is really is a response to all of your thoughts. Your body is a literal response to your thoughts. So, you know, it's incredible. It is, it's a very, very, very incredible. I know they say machine, and I know lots of people feel uncomfortable about it because, like, I'm not a machine, but it's designed incredibly well. And I don't quite know what the most appropriate word to say to define these amazing bodies that we're in. They are so well designed. And so those makers who designed these bodies love their projects a lot, and they are still working to maintain, upgrade, and modify the bodies. They haven't abandoned you. They haven't abandoned us. They're still working behind the scenes to make this the most comfortable ride for us. But what do we do with it? We abuse the body, neglect the body, do a whole lot of really naughty things to the body. And then, you know, the makers are like, oh my God, they're just tampering with our shit again. Stop it. We're trying to help you. It's choices, right? Okay, so I hope that any of you who did listen to that information, well, yes, it's quite true in some regards, you know, that there is hidden agendas which we've already known about. We also know why lots of people need exit points, right? Lots of people need exit points. And we can just send our love to all people right now who have been pushed so much into taking their own hands into their own exit points because they feel like they have no choice. Horrific, right? They're just so upsetting to think that they have lost their way, lost their faith, and don't know how much they are loved and supported. Maybe that is part of their life contract to commit suicide. And there seems to be an abundance of it in Japan, as like it has in many other countries. And it's such a sad thing because you're not in joy and you don't feel like you feel so alone. And I guess that is the extremity of what you're normally feeling normally. So I guess, you know, there's lessons and experiences there, but my heart goes out to those people who have been pushed so tremendously to feel so isolated that they're contemplating taking their own lives, because life is definitely still worth living. We have to see things from the bigger perspective to understand and have to make some peace to understand why all of this is going along. A lot of people don't want to see what truly is happening to the world, because once you start learning about the crimes against humanity, once you learn about what's been happening to children, what's happening to us with our bodies when we are trusting our food and our supplements and all our stuff that we believe is pure and organic and all that sort of stuff, and our air is good quality. You know, I remember one time, I think it was the very first time that I was interviewing Dolores Cannon, and she just blurted out, well, everything's trying to kill you here. You know, everything's poisonous. And I just was like, excuse me, lady, how dare you? Like, I was not prepared to hear that. I was like, no, but, oh, no, you know, it's like, oh, that's a bit negative. You're not very high dimensional if you're saying these negative things, Dolores. Bliss my ignorance, right? Because what she was trying to tell us is, yeah, this is a shit show, my friends, with much love. And this is why we've got to get a wriggle on, right? This is why we've got to really be responsible for our mindsets and our understanding of how much we can wield high frequency vibrations by just loving the crap out of something, right? It will really help them. It will really heal them. It will really protect them. And if we're not constantly looking for exit points to kill us or to poison us or to get sick or to be vulnerable or blah, 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 you know, we can actually empower ourselves quite longer. Remember, I don't know if I've said this publicly before, but the body can actually last a lot longer than you assume, right? We're always told, you know, man can only live for 60 years or 80 years or whatever, right? No. That's kind of offensive to the makers, because they're like, those bodies can last a long time, but you get told as soon as you retire that's basically when you just need to slow down and start knitting. Don't do anything busy with your life. Keep up these medications. And it's really interesting because when you start turning to a certain age, because you're going to the doctor regularly, because you trust the doctors are like, oh, well, you've just turned 60, so you need these medicines. Not because there's anything wrong with you yet, but just have these medicines and it'll keep you well. And so, it's everything like this is starting to break down the body at a rapid rate, right? They don't want you to live, my friends, unfortunately. That's a really uncomfortable statement to say. But when you start looking behind the curtains of the agendas of the health system, it is not really got a majority of empowerment. It doesn't talk to you about health. It doesn't talk to you about how your bodies are. It doesn't talk to you about grounding. It doesn't talk to you about the effects of sugar and how it's Satan. It's very interesting. And I know I talk about it a lot. So, the bodies can live a really, really long time. But we're constantly told in the minds, your body is old. You're in retirement now. Slow down. Hey, at your age, you're not a kid anymore. We should be all treating ourselves like we're kids and laugh, do what we want to do in terms of dancing and being creative and be able to freely speak our truth and not be censored. We shouldn't be afraid of anything. We should be bold and courageous and always try new things and explore and see where our limits are. Remember those days? Well, we should be able to get back into that easily, but all the peer pressure of people around us constantly trying to tell us our age and how to act and how we should be because of our age, remembering that the soul is the same age as all source, right? We're all really the same age, right? Even though some of us are a little bit more immature. I'm cool with that. So it's a choice. It's just the bodies we're in. And when you're constantly trusting certain things to empower your body, and yet it's actually not doing. So yes, our mindsets are very important, but also what we feel the body, isn't it? Because we think, oh, cool, we'll give you some nutrients. And the bodies are like, that's fucking plastic, my friends. You're killing me. I'm going to give you the shits now. Sorry, that's crass and gross, but it feels like there is so much fake food out there. And the most disturbing thing is it's cheaper than good food. And when you're starting to talk to people and you're starting to want to eat real healthy food, raw food, then supposedly you're on a diet. Okay, so it's just really interesting how every aspect of the way that we're living really has gone away from being in balance and harmony with nature. Right? Like, I think that's gone a long time ago. So see where you're going, see where you're feeling, see if you are still getting tripped up on certain things that make you feel vulnerable and not protected, because this is another opportunity for you to remember and get back into neutral, trusting that your teams know exactly what's happening to you, knows exactly what's happening to all the other beings it's supporting. You can't really fool them. You can definitely dismiss them. 100% you can dismiss them, but you can't fool them, and they know so much more than we are even willing to see for ourselves. So highly recommend sessions for everybody. They're free for interns, and just trust that your teams are open to suggestions from you. So if you want to talk to them about, certain things, ask, set the intentions. I want to know about this. I want to see this. I want to do this. And, when you've got good intentions, your guides will honor this. It's incredible what they will honor. So start trying that out for yourselves and see how it unfolds. Because it's incredible how I will start thinking of one thing and wanting to show someone a picture of something. And then, very soon afterwards, I'm showing that somehow randomly it pops up, either on like a Facebook post or something like that. And it's like, I haven't seen an image of that for years. And suddenly, just after I talked about it, boom, it's there ready for me to screenshot and share. So it's incredible, right? So don't be afraid to ask. You're all very, very, very worthy of receiving so much. So trust that and try it out. Some of you are almost like too afraid, like, oh, what if I ask and they don't get it? Then I will just, I'll be such a reject and I will know I'm definitely 100% alone. Stop that. You are not alone. So go for it. Ask for the signs. And potentially when you get given the sign and confirmation, do you need to keep asking 100 more times for them to keep giving you the same magic trick? I know lots of people seek out, I need to see certain synchronicities in time, or I need to see like a white feather or something. What are you holding as confirmation that they're there? They don't mind constantly reassuring you that they are there. But what do you do next when you know that they are there? Do you keep asking for proof, or do you start using your free will wisely and asking for the things you actually do need? Because you know they're there. They haven't gone on holiday and they're certainly not ghosting you. So, okay, well, have fun with unpacking that, my friends, and please bless all that water, and know that when you're blessing that water, once you're finished with it and it goes back out and does its little recycling thing and feeds a whole lot of other plants and animals and other beings, that energy of love and respect that you put in has also been raised and given to all of those other beings and all those other people. So how fantastic are you? Amazing, because from those actions alone, you are sharing love, physical love. It's a physical thing. They feel your love. They get healed as well. So it's a thankless job. I will say thank you for them all. Thank you so much for sending them love. They will feel it. And when they review their lives and look back at all the times that they were given so much love from people they didn't even know, and they stop and look back at you sending and setting intentions for love, that's when they're going to be grateful and honor you. And it will happen at some point. It just won't be today. But today I'm honoring you, and I hope that is enough to inspire you to jazz hands all the water we can. Okay. I love you guys. Have a fantastic day.